morning, dear students. As we have started the new chapter, that is combustion and flame. Last time we have learned about the conditions necessary for combustion. Today we will be discussing about types of combustion. What are the different types of combustion? The types of combustions are basically classified on the basis of the way the burning takes place or combustion occurs and the heat generated or the process of combustion is going on. Based on that, these different types are mentioned. Like the first one is slow combustion. So what is slow combustion? Generally, the slow combustion is observed when there is insufficient supply of oxygen. When the oxygen is not supplied properly, then the combustion process is very slow. The combustible material will burn slowly. When it will burn slowly, what is going to happen? Yes, the amount of heat energy produced by the combustible substance will be less. Second thing is, most of the combustible material will turn into unburned carbon particles without getting burned. So, this process is a very slow process. It is because of the insufficient supply of oxygen, and in such cases we find that carbon monoxide is also produced. It is one of the harmful gases which is produced due to combustion. So what are the examples of slow combustion? That is cow dung cakes or wood or kerosene. When we burn these cow dung cakes or wood, in that case we find that they burn very slowly, and the amount of heat energy they release is less compared to the amount of pollutants they release.
The definition of slow combustion is when a combustible material burns at a slow or moderate rate, it is called slow combustion.
The second type of combustion is rapid combustion. What is that? Rapid combustion. In rapid combustion, the substance, the combustible material, when it is heated with any heating source, it reaches immediately to ignition temperature and it starts burning, and it releases maximum amount of heat. For example, LPG, CNG, that is liquefied petroleum gas, the regular cylinders which we use for cooking purposes, they are known as LPG, and CNG, that is compressed natural gas. And many oil fuels also show this type of combustion, that is rapid combustion. The process is very rapid or very fast, and the heat released is also fast. In this type of combustion, compared to slow combustion, the pollutants released are less. So, first one is slow combustion, second one is rapid combustion.
What is rapid combustion? Yes, when a combustible material burns rapidly to produce heat and light, it is called rapid combustion.
The third type of combustion is spontaneous combustion. Spontaneous means instantly. Okay. So in these two cases, as I have said, we need to take the substance to its ignition temperature, and means how we take this, we use some heating source, either the matchstick or some device which will produce or heat by making this combustible substance reach its ignition temperature. So in case of spontaneous combustion, without any external heating, the substance reaches to its ignition temperature and catches fire. For example, phosphorus. In the previous chapter, we have already studied that phosphorus is always stored in water. Why it is stored in water? Because it is highly reactive non-metal. The moment it is taken out from water, it reacts with oxygen present in the air and it catches fire. Second example is forest fire. Recently we have heard about Amazon forest fire and all. So this forest fire is also an example of spontaneous combustion. No heating aid is required and the fire is produced. So such examples are known as spontaneous combustion example. One more example is there, that is of coal mine. In coal mine, the fine carbon particles also undergo this process of spontaneous combustion.
When a combustible material suddenly bursts into flames without the application of apparent cause, this type of combustion is known as spontaneous combustion.
And the last type is explosive combustion. From the word itself you can understand explosive means it will explode. When this combustible material will catch fire, it will produce heat, light as well as sound. And why this happens? Because the combustible material is placed in a closed container. Due to that, it explodes. When we burn it or when we bring it to the ignition temperature, that time the explosion occurs. For example, firecrackers. When you lit the wick of this firecracker, you find that the material, explosive material which is placed in the firecracker, it reaches to its ignition temperature and starts burning, and when it burns it produces sound, light and heat energy.
In explosive combustion, the mixture of combustible material and air burns in a very short span of time in some closed space and produces heat, light and sound.
So these are the 4 types of combustion. There are many more examples of this which we see in our day-to-day life related to slow combustion or rapid combustion or spontaneous combustion or explosive combustion. Now children, in your book on page number 70, the different types of combustion are given and the examples are also mentioned. So kindly read that part and try to understand the difference between these 4. And in our next class, we will be discussing the difference between these 4 types of combustion. If you have any doubt related to these types of combustion, we will be discussing it in our next class.